Welcome back to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV. Now to our main conversation. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has urged the Federal High Court to send him to Kuje prison. Nnamdi Kanu alleged that the Department of State Services had no medical facility to treat him, adding that there was a conspiracy for him to die in the DSS custody. Quote, and I quote, "People will come to see me, they will not allow them. They don't have a medical facility. I have congestive heart failure. They are patching me up," end of quote.
Meanwhile, the Southeast, the member of the House of Representatives led by Honorable Ikenga Ugochinyere, have called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to invoke the relevant sections of the Constitution to discontinue the trial of the detained leader of IPOB.
This was, as they said, the dismissal of Kanu's bail application by the court was another major setback for the healing process and return of peace in the region.
All right, that is the very big issue we have today, but I don't know, Chinyere, it's becoming very ridiculous at this point because, of course, this is gruesomely affecting a region of the country. And I think it's very important at this point for us to understand the importance of bringing every region together, but most importantly, ensuring that there's peace, lasting peace in one region, because of course it has a way of affecting other regions. What do you think?
Absolutely, Henry. I think that success thrives majorly on peace. And what aches my heart in this entire toga of what we're looking at is the infractions going on, amongst the IPOB members. There seems to be no unity because some people are agitating for IPOB to come to to come to life, and some other people are saying no, we want one Nigeria. So allow me to quote the Bible. A house that is not united cannot stand.
Definitely.
So until the house is put together, I really don't know what's there really.
Very true. All right, so still with us in the studios today is Mr. Cyril Labaku. Thank you so very much, sir, for hanging around. So the big question today is, just a few weeks back, the federal government discontinued the criminal charge filed against Omoyele Sowore. And of course, Sunday Igboho is back home. Why do you think Nnamdi Kanu is still held?
Well, for the optics of the conversation, it makes sense to an extent to look at what's going on and say, why is what is source for the goose not source for the gander? It does appear that way. But if we ride on that logic alone, we may run the risk of not demonstrating willingness to interrogate each matter factually. All right? So I want to suspend the sentiment for now and have us look at each case the way it ought to be taken.
Okay.
I can tell you for free that the Nnamdi Kanu case is not primarily a legal issue.
And what do you think it is?
Which is a political issue, which federal government has made it look like.
Okay.
To explain to you, you know that there's a lot of ransom payment going on for kidnapped victims and stuff like that. Okay. Are you aware that in this year's budget, President Tinubu reduced the amount of money allocated to the Ministry of Justice?
Really?
Between last year and this year, there's a reduction, which means that the Ministry of Justice and federal government lawyers will not be able to effectively prosecute cases. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Because every crime must be taken to court. Is that not so?
True.
Right.
So the federal government is already has already been the power to go to court has already been weighted. So they may not be able to effectively go to court and deal with cases the way they should have been dealt with. So if you see that they are not able to prosecute enough terrorists, you know that Abin show. They didn't even set money aside to prosecute them as they ought to prosecute them.
But Nnamdi Kanu's own is a special case. Do you think that would affect it in any way?
Let me give an example. In Nnamdi Kanu's case, go and check the number of times they've amended charges. It doesn't look like a government that is serious to see the case through. From Buhari to Tinubu, go and check how they've come. Today they come amended charge. I mean, you see the same thing with Gordon Emefiele. It is the reason why he is likely not to be a free man until after 8 years or something. Plain fact. Now, whether Nnamdi Kanu broke the law or not, by, when Afaruku, the jumping up in and so on, what leadership does is to turn everything into a chessboard or draft board and look at the matter from, as visionaries and say, what exactly are the problems? And how Nnamdi Kanu is just a metaphor for everything. Boko Haram is there. Sunday Boko came up some years ago. The militants in the Niger Delta, Tompolo and Boilof and so on. Why did the leader like Umar Musa Yar'Adua grant amnesty? Why didn't they say arrest all of them and lock them behind bars? Why didn't they say that? I thought that's what the law said. But you have to grant amnesty. You call that a political solution. Since that day, militancy has just died the natural death.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
And there's an amnesty program. But in the north, the Northeast Development Commission has not led to any significant reduction in Boko Haram. So it tells you that you can't even use the same solution for every manifestation.
Very true.
But at the root of all of these problems is one common issue, which is that we have not addressed what has been innocuously referred to as the national question in Nigeria. What's Nigeria? Who are Nigerians? How do we want to live together? Can some Nigerians be more Nigerian than others? What are our rights? Are we all citizens or some are citizens and some are indigents? So these are the issue of identity. That really is the problem with Nigeria. Let me say this. When Nnamdi Kanu began saying all those things, I mean, I for one, there was a day I was traveling through the southeast, and I listened to the things Nnamdi Kanu was saying on Radio Biafra. My head almost came off. I said, seriously speaking, somebody saying these sort of things in Nigeria today, and government can't do anything about it. For the record, what government should have done was to acquire technology to jam the signal of that radio. It's as simple as that.
But they've done that repeatedly, but unfortunately it hasn't worked.
It means you've not done it well.
No, true.
You've not done it well. You jam the signal. There are ways to tactically take those things out and make sure that they don't ever have expression in the space anymore. They didn't do it. The matter first started metastasized, to borrow that language, until a point where they now realize that they need to cage the man. Now it's fine if you want to cage the man. How are you caging his message?
Okay, so
any attempt to cage a man and let his message continue to roam free, you've not solved the problem.
Very true.
So, Mr. Siri, just allow me to come in there. So, you ask a very salient question: how you can cage a man, but you cannot cage his message. Let's talk about his message in the southeast and the sit-at-home order. Do you think that's enough propagation for his message? That's one question. You also, talked about how this is clearly not a court matter. It's a political case. Do you think that Nnamdi Kanu should opt for an out-of-court settlement with the federal government?
No, so this is the issue, right? Then Nnamdi Kanu is not a suit. It's a case. And I have to tell you very easily that, I mean, if there was a land dispute between us now, it's between two civilians, so it's a civil procedure. That's a suit. It's called a case because it is a criminal issue, and in criminality is the state, the government versus the individual.
Okay.
So murder goes beyond whether you want to go to court or not. Once murder has taken place, it will go to trial, and it's a case because the government is not prosecuting you. So in a case, because it's a case, what did they even call it? Treason and so on.
Right.
You can't go and say, let us send out of court. It's not a civil issue. It is a criminal matter. So that's out of the table. Wait. Then number two is the fact that the federal government, you need to ask yourself, what are they seeking to achieve with this, within America, whether it's the court case or even socially? What do they really want to achieve? My personal worry as a communication professional is that I know enough about world wars and history from a communication point of view, and how the messages that led to World War I was doused, the thinking, the perception, because of course communication drives perception, right?
Right.
The perception that led to World War II was also dealt with. Now, what did Nigeria do to deal with the perception that led to the Civil War, the Biafra War? That 50 years after, the matter is still very fresh on the minds of the people. Clearly, that message was not dealt with. So even if Nnamdi Kanu stood and died today, I can tell you for free that in another 50 years, there will be more and more Nnamdi Kanus. In a manner of speaking, okay, let's even just admit loosely that today's Nnamdi Kanu was yesterday's Chukwemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. You will always have them.
True.
You will always have them. The question is, are we determined? Are we concerned? Are we interested in forging a centripetal behavioral tendency as a country to bring everybody into the frame? If that is your goal, then ask yourself, what are the enemies of that goal? What are the impediments that are making us not to be able to want to come together to live together? Once you can address that, I mean, I for one, the matter was always clear that something was fundamentally not right with the way Nigeria was structured. It was when Sunday Igboho came up with Yoruba Nation agitation that some people came to me and said, for once, we now agree that something is wrong. Because before independence, the Igbo were the champions of one Nigeria. Biafra came, things went the way they went. Then somehow the Yoruba, sort of conservative and just willing to live together with everybody. They're hospitable, they're accommodable and so on. For them, for elements within the Yoruba land to come out and say they were tired of Nigeria, then clearly something had gone fundamentally wrong at the foundation. So if we won't address this issue, okay, and let's even be very plain about it. You have spirit of people here that's coming from Kanu and Sokoto and all these places, destroying farms in Ekiti, Kinami farmers and so on in Ondo.
Right.
You won't hear of any serious arrest. It's clearly, so this is an attempt at land grabbing. And are coming to your land to take your. How was a pastor's daughter killed? People won't take this lying down. That you've arrested Igbo and so on is not, for me, I think that what the president should even do is to sincerely mean it and do it. And what should they mean? Mean to address the national question. The way we are, a country of more than 300 ethnic groups and languages and behavioral patterns and cultures and histories cannot be forced into a structure in which all of us must come together. We won't see things the same way. It is not natural. Give them powers. Give them independent. Give them a measure of control over their destiny. Okay, and let them just be willing friends and partners who come to the center to exchange gifts and shake hands and then go back and be whoever it is they want to be. If that can be done, I think that largely this tension will diffuse. But even Boko Haram, as bad as Boko Haram is, okay, I believe that granting more devolving powers to the regions will help to diffuse the Boko Haram tension faster than attempting to keep everything in one center will make it.
All right, so for the want of time, my question is this. Nnamdi Kanu is requesting that he be transferred to Kuje prison because, like he stated, there ain't enough medical facility at the DSS office. And the justice, Barrister Binta Nyako, is saying that she is not okay with that request because she feels that Nnamdi Kanu won't be safe in Kuje prison. Now, do you think that has a little bit of undertone that we are not seeing?
Well, I mean, the learned judge has spoken. I can't put my hands in the mouth, as we say in a local parlance. This is the decision of the court. All right, it was the accused, the request of the accused, all right, to be transferred. But if the court in its wisdom feels that he shouldn't go there, he may be killed. It's fine. But what Nnamdi Kanu has even said is that he fears that he will actually die in the DSS custody. Okay, so there are two fears of death. If he goes to Kuje, he may be killed. But if he stays in DSS, he says he's going to die. So, I mean, I don't mean to be cheeky, but is it now a debate of where is it better to die than where is it not better to die? But indeed, it's not just about Nnamdi Kanu. What must die is the malice, the avarice, the bitterness, the mutual distrust, the lack of desire for us to see eye to eye as equal Nigerians, and the fact that what is happening to Nnamdi Kanu today could happen to just any other person. Okay? To this day, they have not told us how Nnamdi Kanu was brought back to Nigeria. We've been asking. The Supreme Court, what the Supreme Court went and said, if you won't tell us how you got this man back to this place, then there's no trial. Court, send him away. What the federal government do? I personally have my reservations as to whether this man will walk free again. I don't know when that will happen. Because today, amended charges, tomorrow, stay of execution, tomorrow, fair charge, tomorrow. I think there's always the next excuse to keep him behind bars.
So freedom for him is a far cry from reality?
For me, I think he's lightest away from it. But what I'm going to say is that caging Nnamdi Kanu is a very short-term thinking. We need leadership that thinks Nigeria, that sees Nigeria. And let me wrap with this. Somebody was asking me yesterday, a scholar, about the Nigerian question, national question. And I said, you are even going too far to ask that question. The only thing we share in common as a country is the name. Is the name. Nigeria. But once you talk Nigeria, I think it invokes very different things to different people. We must find a way to commonize what we think when we say Nigeria. What do we think? What does Nigeria connote to you? When you say America, I think the first thing that comes to mind is freedom, prosperity, right? But when you say Nigeria, what comes to your mind? It's blank. It's blank. It hardly inspires anything. So such a country can't be said to be going very far. If this is the best you can do to Nnamdi Kanu, it shows your own level of thinking. It means that you're not ready to rise beyond, these very primordial ways of addressing it. So until we show seriousness and the capacity and determination to have a large heart, to accommodate everybody, and to address the issues that I've been talking at our heartstrings since, let me say, 1957, 58, we won't go too far. We won't go too far. Yes.
Chinyere, it's actually very so unfortunate that we're discussing this in 2024, when actually as a country we should be thinking of moving forward technologically, we should be moving forward commercially and taking over the world. It's so very unfortunate.
Henry, it actually breaks my heart. If not for want of time, I would have asked Siri to speak to you a couple of things, but again, this, in my opinion, shows why we see Nigerians moving out in droves. You see professionals willing to take very menial jobs abroad just to leave the country. It's a shock, really.
True. Well, that's just about the time we have today on our main conversation on Enterprise Morning with Enterprise TV. And just like our guest did say, nature abhors vacuum. What we need in Nigeria is a country where leadership would really be defined as true leadership. Thank you so very much, Mr. Cyril Abaku, for being part of our show today. It was really, indeed, an incisive discussion.
My pleasure.
Thank you for your time.
So very much. All right, so on behalf of the entire team of Enterprise TV, I am Henry Igwebike.
And I'm Chinyere.
All right, so while we go, please do well to visit our website daily at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye from me.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.